Well, one of the things that people like have brought up is that he has a half black, half white stepdaughter. His wife actually had a baby with the guy from H-Town, right? Who died in a car accident.
Very unfortunate.
Right? And it's like, oh, well, you know, he was exposed to black people and black culture. But to be fair, that little girl was raised by a white mother without her father present, unfortunately, because of the accident. And then she goes and marries a white guy. So there's not really a lot of...
It's interesting. Thomas Jefferson had black children and a black woman that he kept in a cave next to his bedroom, right?
In a cave.
He did. It was a cave. It was like...
An actual cave.
It was an actual dug-in dirt cave. It wasn't...
You're serious?
Wow. Yes. Sally Hemings, they called it an apartment, but it was a cave. It was a fucking
Well, but that was his slave, though.
That's
that wasn't
so
like his woman. Like...
Right. But when somebody tells me they have a black child or a black step, Gary Owen, who was married to a black woman, has black children that are his, right?
That are his.
I've never heard him say the N-word.
No.
Okay, so all of these excuses...
Well, no, I don't think it's an excuse. I think what it is that the reason I mention it is because, you know, when you have black people that are close to you, they'll usually tell you, you know, and give you like good advice as to what not to say. You see what I'm saying? Like, they'll usually tell you like, hey, listen, like, yes, your black friends might be okay with you saying the N-word around them, you know, that you've known for 30 years, but you don't want to say this in public. And generally, even if they do say it's okay, you probably should just not even say it.
But you know what's funny? One or two things is happening. Now, Eminem made a lot of money from black people, right?
Yes.
I never heard him say it.
Oh, you didn't? Because I did. The tapes that came out.
But I'm talking about on a habitual out in the open
did he actually say the N-word? I mean, he disparaged black women and so forth.
In a habitual out in the open way. And if I had heard him say it, I would have a different estimation of that. And I'm a dude who's a proponent of free speech. Mm-hmm. But I'll say this. If you said it that many times, either you mean it or know that pretending to mean it avails you to something. Mm-hmm. Either you mean it or you know that pretending to have this mindset works. There's a reason that all the people who listen, all these people and the friends who listen to Tucker Carlson and who listen to Sean Hannity gather at the same places because they feel comfortable, right? Yeah. Those people would never feel comfortable around me. So either you actually mean this or flirting with it for an affect.
Well, India.Arie originally asked Spotify to remove all her music because of some of the stuff that Joe Rogan was saying. Then after he apologized, she said she actually accepts his apology. When he apologized, what'd you think? I
didn't care what he said one way or the other, whether it was the nigga or the apology. I just pointed out what I thought was interesting. I think it's interesting that I watched Donald Sterling say nigga one time and lose the Clippers. It's interesting that I watched Paulo Dean say nigga one time and lose a cooking show. And he said nigga for 13 years and made $100 million. I think that it says a lot about who that company is. I've never seen the president of a company come out and say, yeah, he said these horrible things, but we're still going to stay with him. We don't believe that we should silence speech.
Well, that's not true because Viacom brought Nick Cannon back.
No. Nick Cannon had to go away for a year and had to apologize. Nick Cannon got to name his first son. Nick Cannon had to damn near become a Jewish dude. He damn near, we can't pretend like what happened to Nick Cannon was.
Okay, fair enough.
We had the conversation. Nick Cannon's show was delayed by a year and a half till he had made sufficient inroads with the community he defended before he could come back. They took Wild 'N Out away from him.
They did.
So it's not the same thing. Whoopi Goldberg got suspended for 2 weeks, but I've never heard the president of a company come out and say we're going to stick with him. You didn't see it. You'll never see a president, and it's because those companies have a different perspective. Those shareholders, that audience have a different perspective than the audience that listens to Rogan.